Well, with me right now is a friend of ours who's been coming on our show for, I don't know, about 10 years, I think, at least. We have Valerie Geller. And Valerie has been with us many, many times, talking about everything from special symphony events with the on her own, with the Moment Musicale, with the Emeritus, all kinds of different things. Well, today she is here. She's brought a guest. We're going to hear her play in just a moment, Lisa Cherry, who plays the French horn. But coming up tomorrow at the Laguna Hills Community Center will be your Moment Musicale, something you've done in the past, and it's great that it's back again. So welcome.
Thank you very much. You know, it's very funny because we've performed or been putting on Moment Musicale for so many years now.
Yeah.
And every month that went by, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to play myself? Because I'm also a violinist in addition to being a conductor.
Yeah.
And every so often I'd get a telephone call. Hi, I'm available, I'm going to be in town, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to share these wonderful artists who are visiting with us. And so I kept bumping myself from month to month to month. And recently, I had the opportunity to perform the Brahms Horn Trio with two wonderful friends, artists, musicians in the area, Lisa Cherry on French horn and Lika Handa playing piano. And it's a fabulous piece. And we thought, oh my gosh, if we had the right day and the right time, and we're all in town at the same time, which is so unusual, especially Lisa, she travels all around the world performing. And so if we're able to nail down a date, I happen to be glancing at hers.
Yeah.
All poised and ready to play for us in just a moment. It was so great to have the cooperation of the city of Laguna Hills to
we've done
make
this
the
many
venue.
times, yes.
Right, and this is my opportunity. I'm going to make my Moment Musicale debut.
Yes, that's right. It's
yeah.
As many times as you've done it, you're conducting or you're coordinating, but you're not playing.
That's right. So this is going to be great fun. It's a beautiful piece. I have the honor and privilege of playing with two outstanding musicians, and so I'm looking forward to tomorrow at 12 noon.
All right, is a good time to get over in the middle of the day and just have a nice time and listen to some beautiful music. So right now we are going to take it over to Lisa Cherry, and she's going to play a short piece here, then she's going to join us back over here. So Lisa, take it away. Well, we're going to have you come on over here and sit with us. And you know, it's funny. I hear that music, and my first thought is that it's going to be a fox hunt. You know, an English fox hunt. You know, they're all ready to mount. They're mounting the horses, and the beagles are out there, and like a. That's what it reminds me of.
And throughout the piece, actually, it's very reminiscent of a hunt, because you're going to hear that theme repeating itself in a couple of the movements. Ta-da, ta-da,
yeah.
ta-da, and you feel like the music is going at a gallop. But in addition to that, in the second movement, there's a more melodic, slower section that comes up, and you're going to recognize that theme from, of all things, The Unsinkable Molly Brown.
Wow.
Yep, the movie adapted the theme. This theme it's just that when we do it, it's a little slightly more of a minor key.
So Lisa, tell me about you know, you travel all over, and I guess you play with different orchestras, or do you play as a soloist?
Well, I usually play as a freelancer,
okay.
And Valerie and I do this all the time. It's kind of the life we lead. We never know where we're going. Yesterday I played with Peninsula Symphony, and I've played in that orchestra since I was 14 years old, believe it or not.
Wow.
I started my kind of young career in that orchestra. The conductor at the time was my teacher. And so he said, at the time also I played percussion, and so I was playing percussion. And he said, well, now that you've started horn, I started at age 13.
Wow.
I know, well that's actually kind of older because I started drums and piano when I was in the 4th grade. So I switched to horn, and he said, well, you might as well play percussion and horn. So I would walk from the percussion section over to the 4th horn spot. And so that's how I started my entire career, basically. I learned all my repertoire in that orchestra. And so back to the freelance idea, we just kind of go where we're called. The phone rings, now it's email or text, and you don't know where you're going to be. Yesterday I was in the South Bay in Redondo Beach. Today I'm here. This week we're in the desert doing Phantom.
Wow.
All week. Yeah, so I never know what I'm doing.
So, I didn't realize that, Valerie. I thought that, and maybe in some cases it is, that when you're part of a symphony, like the Pacific Symphony or LA or Philharmonic, whatever it might be, that's kind of your gig for months and months and months. And maybe that is the way for some, and then others, they need somebody to come in and fill in or be a part of it. Is that how that works?
Well, that's true for probably 3 orchestras in California, and that would be Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego when they're solvent, hopefully.
Right.
But other orchestras like Pacific Symphony, Long Beach Symphony, the regional-sized orchestras, in addition to seeing these musicians who you become familiar with if you're subscribers, when you don't see us, all the other musicians, we're off. We're scattered to the 4 winds, playing all kinds of music in all different venues.
Okay, now you had told me, in one of the emails you sent, about the French horn that you play. The particular instrument has some history behind it.
My French horn actually has a lot of history. It belonged to Brian O'Connor, who was a very famous studio horn player in LA. And he was a friend and colleague of mine. And we actually started on the path about 30 years ago with another friend, Jim Patterson, who started kind of doing horn alterations and customization. He ended up making his own French horns. So Brian and I kind of like went down this path, supporting our friend Jim and kind of purchasing his creations. And so unfortunately, Brian got a brain tumor I guess about 2010. He had an operation which they filmed on a Dateline episode when Dateline was still around. I guess it still is around, but they did it live, and so they filmed him, and he was actually awake during the operation. He made sure that he could still move his fingers, and because he wanted to have his career still. They were really worried because the tumor was really close to all the tactile functions of the brain. He ended up going back to playing. He got another brain tumor and had that operated on, and then another one came back. So unfortunately, he passed away in 2016. And Jim Patterson let me know that he was able to purchase 3 of Brian's horns back. And since he knew Brian and I were close friends, I do have his really famous custom horn that was built in 2001.
Wow.
And every day I pick it up, it's amazing because that was made for Brian. Brian had to play perfectly at all times, because he did 2,000 or 3,000 recordings on this particular instrument.
Yeah,
so
didn't you tell me,
amazing.
Valerie, it was used in some movie sessions and things like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did Avatar on it. He did all the Star Treks.
Wow.
And, everything else.
Yeah.
Every time you hear do, 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 do,
yeah.
it's this
So
famous horn.
That's the horn I have. I mean,
that is really cool.
I don't pretend to be the player Brian was, but it certainly helps me every day, every minute I have that horn.
That is really cool, yeah.
And actually, Brian did candlelighting, and Valerie's done candlelighting at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I do candlelighting now on Brian's horn. So it's pretty epic.
Yeah, that is special.
Yeah, it's very special.
Now, you mentioned he customized this. Did that mean, did he build these horns from scratch, or you buy one and then...
He would basically buy German bells, and the valves are built in Germany, and there's this whole town that is,
Wow.
into the production of
So you buy
valves.
the pieces, but then you can tweak them how
and he
you want.
puts them together, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
also interesting about the horn, maybe you can talk about what the horn was like during the hunting season,
Yes.
during the early creation of today's modern day French horn.
Okay.
Yeah,
which
the
is
modern day
amazing.
French horn has 4 valves if it's a double horn, which most are. When Brahms wrote the horn trio, the valves were just being invented, and so Brahms wanted to keep the natural horn because he liked the tone, the characteristic. It's kind of somber, it's melancholy.
Right, yeah.
He wanted that to be, if you wanted to play this authentically, the Brahms trio, you would use a natural horn.
Okay, what's natural? You don't have valves?
No valves. It's just 15 feet of tubing wound up, and you just blow. And you have a bunch of crooks, which puts that you would have to use the E-flat crook.
What's a crook? I have no
A
clue
crook
what
is
that-
like a tuning slide.
Okay.
So it
Wow.
puts it into a different key. We're usually in F horn. The Brahms trio is in E-flat. And so basically every time I play, because I'm playing it on a modern horn, it's down a whole step. So every note I'm seeing, I'm transposing.
Wow.
It
That's
kind of like
incredible.
messes with your head a little bit, but you get used to it because we all learn this stuff.
Yeah, right.
But
Wow.
it's
that's,
pretty bizarre.
Yeah, yeah, that is. And I understand, I know your husband's sitting over there. He's quite a musician himself.
He is. John is one of the 4 or 5 people in the LA, San Diego, Orange County area that plays all the woodwinds, from piccolo to the largest contrabassoon, all the saxes, all the flutes, oboe, you name it.
Wow.
So he's pretty busy all
I'm
the time.
always impressed by that because I'm not a musician at all. So I've known people in my family. My dad, years ago when he was younger, could play all kinds of percussion, and he used to have a big Wurlitzer organ, and actually had 3 of them. Wow. But I never picked it up. So, but I think that's fantastic. So coming up on Monday, you're doing the French horn, you're doing the violin. And then Lika is doing the piano. She's been on
Actually,
before.
tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Excuse me.
That's okay.
That's right. It's tomorrow. So if people want to go to this again, you've done this in the past. You just show up, and it's at noon, and it lasts about an hour, and just have some beautiful music. And I know how you used to always say it was just kind of like a little respite from everything else in your day.
Absolutely, and it's free. Just show up at the Laguna Hills Community Center. There's ample free parking, not only on the ground level where we perform, but up behind the community center, there's also another very large parking lot.
Yes, there is. Yeah, I know what you're
And
talking
we just
about, yeah.
ask everyone to turn off their phones,
Right.
all their portables, any electronics, just leave it in your car, lock it in your trunk, leave it at home, at the office, and just immerse yourself
Yeah.
in these gorgeous melodies. And we have so much fun playing, especially when sometimes we're glancing at each other because we know that there's a big change in attitude coming up in the music, and all of a sudden, and we have these little visual signals we give each other, and I have to be careful because it's a lot easier for me to crack up while I'm playing than a poor horn
I
player
can't.
who's very
That's
occupied.
I can't smile
That's
or
funny.
laugh while
No.
I'm playing. And Valerie and I can get into laughing fits, definitely.
And she
Beyond
has
this?
very expressive eyes.
Beyond this, what do you have coming up? I know you're going to have another event coming up. We might be able to get you back on and talk about that. But if we don't, when is that? We don't have a flyer yet. We'll show it later in the week.
This coming Monday at 7:30
Okay.
is the spring concert for the Global Harmony Symphony.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful program. It's not more than an hour and a half
Okay.
maximum. There's no intermission, straight shot. Again, come in, park, free parking, free admission.
And where will that be?
At the Laguna Hills Community
Oh, the same
Center.
place. Okay,
same
great.
place,
So
except
we'll
it's
publicize
7:30.
that for you.
Fantastic.
And we might get you back. And what about you, Lisa? Where are you off to after tomorrow?
Wednesday through Sunday is Phantom at College of the Desert in Palm Desert, and we're actually doing the concert version of the original Phantom. So the orchestra, full 40-piece, whatever it is, orchestra is going to be on stage, and we get to see the production. Usually we're in a pit, and
Right.
we can't see anything. We're like looking up, and we can't see anything. but it's
I
gonna be
always
awesome.
feel sorry for the musicians, and I don't know if they still do this. I know they did it in past years at like the Academy Awards. The musicians are in the Capitol Records building
That's
miles
right.
away, And I think this year they brought them back. I'm almost
They
positive.
did bring them back. 'Cause-
Yeah, which is part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, in San Diego, I'm with San Diego Musical Theater, and we're in a remote location. The stage is here. We're in like a little room away. The only good thing about that is you don't have to dress in black.
That's right.
And that's great. And
Yeah.
it takes some getting used to, because I had never done anything where you could just dress in, you know,
Yeah.
a t-shirt
So,
or whatever.
okay, there's an advantage to
And-
that.
And you have to get used to that when the light is on, when you start, it's a performance, and you know, you can do that switch. But usually when you're dressed in black, your brain is going, okay,
That's
I'm
right.
going to perform now.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, but you do get used to those remote locations.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Interesting.
fun, actually.
All right, so tomorrow at Laguna Hills Community Center in the Heritage Room from noon until 1 o'clock, you can enjoy a moment musicale. And of course, Lisa will be there, Valerie will be there, and also, is it Lika or Lika?
Lika.
Lika, who has been on our show before. She plays the piano. It is free, it's free parking. Just turn off your phones, all right, and enjoy it.
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank
we
you,
might see
Ken.
you back.
Oh, I
Well, I
hope
know
so.
we'll see you back eventually. We might see you back within a week.
Great.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
Thanks
you.
so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
having us.
And we'll be right back.